Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and to this, a grand announcement. I hope it will be grand though. This is the announcement video for this next book. The book I have been stating is the countdown we are in this week over on my streams, and it is for Soul of the Gem. Soul of the Gem is not connected to Athalas. It is not connected to Code of Chivalry. It is a story that eventually will be connected to other works, but those are also completely separate. So this is the beginning of something entirely new. Soul of the Gem as a story was actually one of the later ones I came up with the idea for. It is based off of, or it's not based off of, it's loosely inspired by, and I will try to see if I can just quickly find it. It is loosely inspired by. It would be nice if I could actually find an image that was going to pop up. More so. The image doesn't matter. What it's loosely inspired by is Huntik, the old animation from, I believe, was it 2006 to 2008, I think? Unfortunately, it did only run for 2 seasons, but it is a story that it's a show that I love to pieces, even now. A couple of bits are a bit corny now, but most of it is still really good. But if I had to actually detail a genre for Soul of the Gem, it is actually the first of my works to be set in the modern world. Modern day, modern times, all of that. But it still has the historical inspiration, and it still has its fantastical elements. So it's a more adventure type fiction with some fantasy and history aspects thrown in. And I am just going to detail to you the blurb, because I am still an author who writes blurbs. Family history can be a complex aspect. Zoe thought her life was, for the most part, no different to any other until one fateful night where a single necklace and a failed burglary would not only change her life, but open her eyes to more truths than she could have ever imagined. Under the guidance of her brother and secret allies of her parents, this journey takes her abroad as more secrets of her family are uncovered and ancient enemies step into the light. All the while the siblings continue the once abandoned search for their long lost father. And then there is a nice little note at the end, for which I will not say out at the moment, but it is a little hint for things to come at the end of the blurb. And actually, I've already done a video on it. It was earlier on my streams, but I have already done it. So the last little nugget is the journey to the connected universe of Soul of the Gem, Teremity, and more has officially begun. Originally, Soul of the Gem was only ever going to be another standalone like my historical fictions, but then it was like a brainworm almost, or not a brainworm, but one of these like sitting ideas that you go back and forth on, and we finally decided that yes, we will set it down a path. And I do want to make abundantly clear that the path that Soul of the Gem goes down, yes, it gets mixed in with these other stories eventually, but it does have its own stories that it follows as well. It's not one of these that gets sucked in and then nothing ever comes of it. It will still have its own aspects. And yes, I will also just fully note that the actual idea to combine all of these came after Soul was mostly already complete, so this story is an introduction into basically Soul of the Gems universe and what's going on there. But in the blurb, necklaces are mentioned. Necklaces are something that are going to be a recurring theme throughout all of Soul of the Gems continuity, because they are arguably the most vital thing of all of it. They are... Well, I'm not going to reveal. All I'm going to say is you have two siblings on the screen right now in front of you, Zoe on the left hand side and Owen on the right, the top two images, and then below them are two of their ancestors, and the thing that connects them is the necklaces. I'm not going to say how, I'm not going to say why, I'm just going to say that, because I think that's the closest I can get to spoiling without actually spoiling. But what I will state is that the necklaces, just an explanation of the front cover here. The front cover right now has 5 of the pendants, the 5 that mostly appear in this one. There are another 5 different types of pendants, but they haven't got as much focus in this one per se, and altogether there is a certain amount of the necklaces, and it's an interesting phase and all of that. I do want to say a massive thank you to my friend. I am not going to state their name because I don't actually know whether they want me to say their name or anything, so for now I'm just saying my friend for designing the front cover, because, or the background of the front cover, because that was an amazing amount of help. And Soul was definitely one that was, it came out of the blue, and then the writing of it happened almost non-stop. It's one of these that jumped out at me and I just got immersed into writing. And it is not released yet. I've still got a little bit of background, and I don't mean background as in oh god, I did this or that. There's a little bit of final editing that's more just me checking through, making sure there isn't any glaring errors or anything. But I've also got to do some of the other background, like getting it actually published, self-published work that I need to do. So that's going to be most of my morning tomorrow. Well, hopefully I am actually recording this the evening before our election, so I might get enamored in that somehow. Yes, and the other thing I will do, because for those of you who have read my works, you are aware that I like to leave little self-made quotations or phrases in one of the opening pages. And I think outside of Code of Chivalry, Soul of the Gems is probably the most simplistic in terms of it just not being lengthy. Strength is family, and family is chosen. And I am intending for this to be released this week, and for those of you who do not know, it will be getting released on my Ko-fi page. That is where that is going to be the main spot where you can pick it up, because for now it is just going to be digital. And this is the thing, with all of my works, I want to get them into paperback, but if that means to be able to get them into paperback, I have to dance around and do digital for a while, then so be it, basically. But yes, it is ready. There is no real point in sitting on it anymore. It's been sat on for the better part of a year. Oh, no, that's not strictly true. The front cover came in 2 different stages, so there was work that was being done on it. It just took a while. And then lots of plans with the connections and everything, and then seeing if we needed to edit. So it's been waiting there, but it's been waiting there with attention still being drawn onto it. And yes, there is something else that I do want to add. Actually, 2 things. One is that yes, it will probably end up on the Lulu bookstore as well, but that's not going to be my main focus. For those of you who have been looking at the YouTube, you'll notice maybe that I haven't been linking the Lulu so much. I am trying to shift over to the Ko-fi, but I will put it on the Lulu bookstore as well, so it's on more than just one spot. But the other thing I want to know, because like I said, there is more than one thing coming to the Ko-fi page. Paperbacks of Liberation of Destiny will be on the Ko-fi page within the next fortnight. And I'm saying fortnight to give me enough time in case I, forget. Is that the correct one? Yes, that is the correct one. Just making sure it was the actual ISBN covered ones and not the initial print I did. But this is all coming together, and it's coming together quite nicely because it's being timed alongside the factor that, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, I've got a craft fair in town. So I've got the books ready, and I'm going to be massively putting out that Soul of the Gem is available digitally. And it's one of those weird things where I don't actually have like a card reader at the moment, so when it comes to craft stores I can only do cash. So being able to actually advertise where you can get these works by card, and yes, they can be paperback as well, it helps. But yes, I am going to be plugging this as much as I can, because, and you may start seeing it also pop up as like a little internal advert on some of the next YouTube content. In terms of the next YouTube content, just going slightly off course a little bit, the next YouTube content, got the Thornreth video that is coming, I do promise. Got the next Warband compilation, that's also getting near. I didn't actually realise how far behind I've gone on them. And the other one that I'm going to probably try and do is the first sort of compilation of the Hot Seat campaign, because I got a lot of that, and also now we're nearing the end of Halo CE as well, so I got that, as well as podcast episodes which are still coming through. I haven't done one this week, and probably won't end up having the time to, but there are still plenty of people who got a guest list for. But I do, though, as much as I'm not sure about that one friend, I will also say a massive thank you to Gasper, one of my Polish mates, and that is partly because he helped me come up with one of the characters, but also we had a very lengthy debate about the eagle pendant because I will hold my hands up and say it is meant to be a little bit of a nod to the eagle that you see on a lot of historical Polish flags when Poland are a sovereign nation throughout history and all of that. So it is a nice little nod to that. And also because I thought it just really fitted a pendant. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I need to cover about all of this? In terms of lengthwise, Soul of the Gem is around the similar length to Code of Chivalry. It tends to, aside from the trilogy and series books, my standalones tend to be slightly shorter. I've added a little bit, and I mean, I've still got final edit to go over, so Soul may end up getting some more added to it, possibly, but it's not going to. It's not going to be like when I edited Assault on Athalas and added almost 100 pages. and that wasn't me correcting things, that was me just realising it's like, oh, I've done this lore now I can tease this. And but yes, so I am going, this video isn't going to be coming out until, well, never know, I might actually be able to get it exported pretty quickly. And we've got like 9 minutes before we hit the 3-hour mark on the stream, so yes, Liberation will be coming onto the Ko-fi page. Whilst we're talking about the Ko-fi page, again, Adil, if you watch this, massive thank you for becoming the first top tier subscriber at Commander of Athalas. It is massively appreciated. And yes, this, once Soul is released, that will mean 2 books printed and self-published, and those 2, as well as 2 more, are available digitally as well. So it's going well. The only problem that I have with posting things digitally, it just means I'm going to run out of ISBN numbers sooner rather than later, which is frustrating, but it's part of the course, really. The next phase in general, in terms of front covers, is going to be getting Path of Shard sorted and then getting the trilogy rounded off. That's the next phase for Athalas, but this... Yes, Soul of the Gem. The siblings are Zoe and Owen Edwards. And this is a story where ancestry is very important. And it does go a bit all over the place, I will say that. But it is an adventure story, mostly. And yes, elements of a mystery as well. What I'm waiting for is though some of the components that I have in there, especially a couple further towards the end. I'm just guessing that as soon as people read them, if they like, obviously if they like the book, they're going to be questioning, it's like, what does that mean? Or is such and such still alive? Is he, is all of these the different things? And what I will say is that one association the pendants have is that each pendant is a specific type of warrior. And I don't mean type as in like what era they're from, I mean type as in what sort of weapons do they use. Are they a halberdier? Are they an archer? Are they horsemen? Like, so that's why that is part of the reason why the pendants differ, because I tried to an extent to associate some with different ones. It's not always been the case, but for the most part I have. And yes, I do apologise that there's a bit of a black screen in this video, and like the background. If I could have had it, I would have had Soul covering the entire thing, but apparently OBS doesn't like that, so I'll see what I can do in the OpenShot edit, but not making any promises. Anyway, I will be trying to get this video out as soon as I can, and with edit and with music, so it's not just me chatting with a tumultuous silence in the background. Soul of the Gem. A new work entering into the world of the published. Strength is family, and family is chosen. Thank you all for watching. I have been sort of drifting off from saying this, but I will say this specifically for this one. Please do comment, like, and subscribe. Please do share. Please do comment. Please do all of that. And because, especially with the sharing, the more people know about this, the more people get drawn in, especially if there are other creators, could end up getting platformed on the podcast. So, in my own way, I am still trying to circle back and also still give that platform. I know I've got the backlog of guests, but if it gets to like 40, I think I'll halt it for a while, but like in the backlog so I can sift through, but before that I'm more than happy. So, and I am going to have to round off this video because I'm getting parched. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope that this front cover is a bit of an improvement over my other ones. I know my others aren't the best. Again, I am an author, I am not an artist. Please do check out the Ko-fi page when it is available, even if it's just to pick up like a copy of Liberation or code, or just to share a tip or anything like that, because all of it goes towards helping get these works published, helping advancing the career, and all of this. And if I can advance things like the podcast, I can then make them more refined and be able to give a better platform to other creators. And yes, I will establish this, and I will establish this clearly because I have had a couple of people get a bit muddled about this recently. The podcast is not me interviewing another creator. It is two creators sitting down and discussing the creative industry, their opinions on it, a little bit about what they do and what they would like to see, and any advice they would give to young creators. So, just establishing that it is not an interview. Thank you all very much for watching, and welcome to the Kingdom of Appelas and the world of Fellermind books. And keep an eye out on the Ko-fi page, which I know I've just done the exit, but if you want to keep updated about the Ko-fi page, you can follow it. So you don't need to follow the YouTube and wait for me to update, you can follow the Ko-fi page as well. Yeah, you can, as far as I know. So, cheerio. And be sure to check Soul or my other works out.